Hello, and welcome to another edition of Delta Media Group's Tech Tuesday. It is the first one of the new year, so I couldn't think of any good jokes this morning, so I'll just leave you with one thing to start off the new year. Remember, if you're too concerned with what's directly in front of you, that's when the attack comes. Not from the front, but from the sides. From the other two you didn't even know were there. So, today we are going to go into the DeltaNet and take a look at My Customer for Life. Now, we've done videos on My Customer for Life before. I just looked at my watch. It was weird. Like buzz on my hand. It's a new watch. So, we've looked at My Customer for Life before. And what we're going to do is we've added some things to it and added some new functionality to it. So we're going to go in and take a look at the new functionality and the new things you can do with it, and some new customization options in there. So let's go into the DeltaNet and start working our way through it. Now, with My Customer for Life, what this was primarily created for initially was to send out an email automatically once a week or once a month. You can choose the frequency there. And it'll include some articles that we write in-house. So, it's all content that's unique to Delta customers, basically. And it's content that has to do with buying, selling, or like home improvement or property management. Articles that are designed to engage with with your prospects, with your potential buyers or sellers, or really just anybody that's in your customer database. It's meant to be interesting information that they'll actually find interesting and engage with. The other nice thing that it'll do from the email standpoint is when they choose one of the My Customer for Life emails, or when they click on one from their email, the system will track which one they clicked on so that it can favor that category going forward. So the idea is if they show interest in a buying article, then they'll get more buying articles as they keep clicking on buying articles. Same for selling or home improvement articles, or whatever they choose. So to set up the email portion of it, I'm going to go down to Customers and MCFL Campaign. And if you're familiar with our campaign system, you'll see that this is roughly the same kind of setup. So what you have here is some description, some information about what it is there at the top. Tells you when it will next run, and then you have this interface that basically is the same interface as our campaign system interface. The difference is, on the left, where this shows the emails, once it loads, it's not going to let me choose, or it's not going to let me actually go in and edit the emails because we're generating the content of these automatically. So it's going to be, by default, one article from each of the three different categories, and those are going to follow your kind of default paragraph, which you set below. Or if you want to customize it, you can set it below. So you'll be able to see the emails that went out, the date that they sent, how many were opened and how many were clicked through, and then you can click on those and you can see all the history with those also. So it shows you all those pieces on this left panel, but doesn't actually allow you to go in and edit the email because they're generated automatically every time. Now also, each customer is getting a different one every time. Once they've clicked on some articles, one customer is going to get different articles than the next one. So they're not all the same, so it wouldn't make sense to make them editable here because they wouldn't really be editable, right? Right. So to set it up, it'll be enabled by default, and you could disable the whole thing if you want. You just click here, and that would change it to disabled. So we'll leave that enabled. And if I want to add customers to this, just like I would with a campaign, I can click over here under Add Remove Customers, or click up here under Customers and Groups, and then I can add customers to this. So I'm going to click on Customers Groups. You'll see it loads this interface. I have an option to automatically add everybody, so that would add everybody in my customer database, which is what we suggest you do, because these kinds of emails are useful to anybody, really. I mean, even if you're not in the market, there are articles we put in there that have to do with the best way to paint a room. So that kind of thing could be useful to anyone. However, if you want to point this out to just specific people, or let's say you had a group in there that you didn't want to market these emails to for whatever reason, you can go to Add the Selected Contacts or Groups, and now you have the option of selecting the customer groups that you have created that you want this to go to. And if you've synced in your contacts from like Google or Office 365 or anything, the groups for those will show up in here also. Or I should say, if you sync Office 365, there'll be one Office 365 contacts group in here that you could choose. If you sync from Google, it'll actually pull over all the different Google groups you have, so you can pick from those. But you can select from the groups you want. To select them, you just hit the checkbox, and that essentially adds them. And then when you go down to the bottom and save, they'll be in that group. Or down here at the bottom, you can select from your individual customers in the same way. You just put a check mark next to them, and that essentially adds them to this campaign. Now you can also narrow this down And the same thing for the group functionality up here. So if you type in a name, either a group name up here in the group section or a customer name down here in the customer section, it will narrow the customers down to just matches for that. And you can select them to add them. And then you would just hit save, and that would add them to this group. So I'm going to cancel this because I have everybody added already. Now, in the case of this particular account, I haven't sent any out or haven't had the system send any out automatically, so I don't have any history in here. And you won't at first either, but after a few have gone out, you'll have an entry here for every one that's sent, and you'll be able to see what day it's sent, and then click on it, see how many were opened, how many were clicked through. And you can even click into further details to see a list of every actual email that's sent out. So it won't just be, you'll have one entry here for dates sent with a number for how many were sent, how many were opened, and how many were clicked through. But when you click on it, you'll be able to see actually who it was sent to by email address, who opened it, and who ultimately clicked through on it. So you can look at the specifics of that and see those. And then you can also go through to those customers' profile pages in the DeltaNet, and we've got other videos on that. I won't go over that now. But if you go to the profile page history section, you can actually see the email that went to that customer. So that's the first piece of My Customer for Life. So if we scroll down here to the bottom, you'll see we have some customization settings. Now first, to turn this on, it'll already be enabled. All you have to do is add customers to it. So once you've added customers to it, by clicking this and just saying add all new and hit save, then you're done. This will start going out for you automatically. Everything else is all about kind of customizing it, fine-tuning it to do what you want beyond just sending the initial email, or not really the initial, the recurring email. So down here at the bottom, we have our MCFL email settings section. You can see we have some variables that will autofill with information that you can use in this email. And then down here, you can actually customize both the subject line and the introduction in that email, as well as set the frequency. So right now mine's set to weekly, but I could switch this out to monthly if I wanted to. So we'll go ahead and switch to monthly, why not? If I don't want it to start sending right away, I can pick a send date and note here that they actually do send on Thursdays. So that's always the day they send. That's the day that the new articles are added in. So they'll always send out on Thursdays, so you can only pick Thursdays for your initial send date. Your subject here, you can see you can use those custom variables in the subject line, but this is what the subject line is by default, and you can customize that if you want. And then this is the introduction paragraph that goes above the actual articles that the system chooses and puts in this email. So you can customize that as well. And because you have these customer name variables at the top, you could put like a dear customer name, something like that at the top. So if I wanted to do customer first name, I could just copy this up here and then go down and say, dear customer. There you go. And then that's going to fill in at the beginning with the customer's first name before it has this paragraph, and then ultimately has the rest. The only thing I would suggest here is probably not to put the dear there, only because if you have an email address for a customer but they don't have a first name entered into the system for whatever reason, if you have dear there, it'll just say dear space comma and then the rest of the email. Whereas if you take the dear out and just have this customer name first, it's just going to have customer name comma. So if it's blank, it'll just have that little comma up at the top and you're not really going to notice. You could even get rid of the comma and with or without the name, it wouldn't really be very noticeable. So that is how you set up the emails for the My Customer for Life system. Now, the second half of the My Customer for Life system is the functionality that we added in relatively recently. Now, this allows you to actually take the dates from these My Customer for Life articles, or take the articles themselves and do things with those articles specifically. So if I go over here to customers and then below campaigns, we have MCFL articles. These are all the individual articles that we've written and added to the system for the My Customer for Life stuff. So these will go out, it'll pick 3 of these each week and send those out in that email. However, if you want to take one individual article and you either want to print it out, save it as a PDF to take to a print shop and have them print, or share it on your Facebook page, those options are available to you here. So first off, you can tell this is kind of our standard table system, so you can sort these, you can do different things here. You can also use this search box to narrow down a specific article if there's a specific one you're looking for. You've got all the different pages here, so you can go through and see all the different articles. And then the first thing you can do here is up at the top, we can click on default settings, and we can make some customizations to the defaults for these. Now, you can edit each individual one in the preview before you actually generate the PDF, but if you want to change the defaults, you can do that here. So we'll just go up here to our defaults. This is the header that'll appear at the top of the email, or not the email, at the top of the article. This can appear within kind of the body text of the article. And then down here you can choose the default logo for these. It's good to choose a default logo once you've looked at a preview of them, because all your company logos will be laid out here, and depending on your company colors, it might be a dark background, might be a light background, and we just don't have a way of knowing that ahead of time. So this allows you to pick that default so that you don't have to change it every time. So I'll go ahead and pick one of my white background ones here and hit save. So there we go. And now I'm going to refresh this page, because why not? Now we can see the article name, category, the day it was published. So here's a home improvement article for giving a fireplace a facelift. That sounds like a plan. So I'm going to click on Actions, and we'll click on View Preview. So here's what our article looks like. Now you can see this was our header line of text. So I can still edit that here, but it's using my default text to begin with. This is kind of the body content text. Again, it's filled in with my defaults, but I can change it here. And this is an inline WYSIWYG editor. So I have some options here for formatting, for color, things like that. So you've got a fair amount of options there. This just fills in with my name and phone number, the primary phone number I have chosen. And then here's my article. So you can see all that's filled in automatically. It used my default logo down here, but if I wanted, I could also change that. So if I click on it, I could change my logo here. And then if I did make changes to that, I could actually use this switch to take this preview I've created and have it pipe this information over to my defaults, so that this is what will be used as my defaults from here. Now at this point, once I have my article set up the way I want, I can click Generate PDF, and that will actually create a PDF file that'll probably load up in my browser, depending on what browser you're using. And I can then take that, I can save it as a file, I can print it out. If I save it as a file, I could put it on a flash drive, or send it to Vistaprint or something and have it printed out if I wanted to. Or I can just hit print and just print it on my local printer or my office printer, wherever I happen to be. So we'll click on Generate PDF. You can see in Chrome it'll open up a new tab like this, and we'll load the PDF in here. There you go. I don't even have a fireplace. I don't know why I picked this article. It's a nice fireplace though. So there you go. So that has the article set to print out there. So I can print directly from this PDF because Chrome allows me to do that. Or because this is a PDF, I can save this file and use it however I'd like. So we'll close that out. And if I hit print, it just loads up my print dialog here, and then I have it all set to print. And then I just hit the print button, and then that would print out my article. Now the other thing you can do here, I'm going to go back to Customers and then MCFL Articles again to take me back to the main page. I can click on Actions and go down to Facebook Post. Now what this does is it interacts with our Facebook Auto Connector system. So we have some videos on that as well, but if you go down here to the bottom, you have Facebook and then Post Tools over here on the left. That's how you would initially set up Facebook Auto Connector. Then what that does is it allows the system to automatically post to Facebook on your behalf, like post out to your business page, and also gives you the ability to send out these manual posts to the DeltaNet, basically connecting your Facebook business account to the DeltaNet. So as long as that's connected, when you click on that from the MCFL article page, it'll take you to this manual post page. So you can see it filled here at the top, custom MCFL post, so that lets me know what kind of post I'm making. This is the link, so this is what users will be taken to when they click on this post from my Facebook page. You can see that loads up on your website, and it loads up that article in a page. In fact, I'll click on it, we can take a look at it. And then down here, you can put in some content for your post, or just some text to go along with your Facebook post. And this is just plain text, so you would type this out. Plain text. You wouldn't actually type out plain text, unless you want to send out a Facebook, like make a Facebook post on your Facebook page that says plain text, in which case you could do that. Do whatever you'd like, whatever makes you happy. Now the other thing that you can do here that's kind of cool is you've got this little emoji button. So we can put emojis in here. Emojis are kind of fun. That's kind of an exciting thing there. So you can load this up, do all kinds of different emojis. Looks like I just lost my camera. It's all right. It's all right. You can still see my screen. That's the important part. So here in this plain text, or here in the text section, you can add in all the text that goes along with your Facebook post. And then when you're all set and have that set up the way you want, you just click down here and click Create Post, and that will build the post and I'm back, and that will put it on the post and put it on your Facebook page. So you'll see this text followed by the image that it pulls for this MCFL article in particular, and then that image and the little description there, like any other post when you post a link on Facebook, will link back to your website and back to that article on your website when you click on it. So there you go. And that camera died on me right before we were about done. I'm telling you, man. So there you go. That is how you can set up MCFL and create all the different, or use the articles to create the different types of functionality from there, be it the PDFs or or just print out directly from your browser, or send through and share on Facebook from there. Just the idea, saving you a step there. So there you have it. That is the MCFL system in a nutshell. So as always, thanks a lot for joining me. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, feel free to give us a call. We'll be happy to walk you through anything you need, or send an email into support@deltagroup.com. And if you want to get notified of any of these videos, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and click the there's a button down. It's down here. It's down here-ish, right? It looks like a bell, the notification button. That way you get notified when we go live, when we post a new video. So thanks a lot for joining me, and we'll see you again next week for Tech Tuesday number 2 of 2020. It's very exciting. Thanks a lot for joining me.